Today, I'm going to show you how to make a small medieval house with a really great surround and lots of detail inside and out. And then I'm going to give you a world download so you can live in it for free. Don't you go anywhere. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening and good night, and welcome to another episode from me, Avomance, in my small houses tutorial series. In this series I am giving you a number of small houses either specific to a biome or specific to a style, and then I'm giving you a world download completely free for you to come and start your world in that house. And in this episode we are going back to basics. We're going to crack on with a medieval house. As is always the case when you're talking about houses, it is all about location, location, location. So you've got to spend just a little bit of time finding the right place for your house. That way you can turn what was a good house into a really great looking house. I have found this glade atop this little hill. It's got a spruce backdrop with a forest to the left hand side, open in the meadows, little bit of flowers. I think this fella is going to be a great. It's got a few neighbours just over there. Let's crack on and build a medieval house right in that spot. As we normally do in these builds, we are going to pretty much freestyle it. I've got a feeling how I want it in my head, but I think we're going to be using a palette that looks a little bit like this. Quite a lot of stone, including some black stone and some brick, a little bit of wood, dark wood, as well as the spruce wood in there as well, and some decoration blocks. Let's get on with building a small medieval house. First off, let's just clear out a little bit of space with all this grass so we can see what we're doing. I'm going to mark out two squares in the floor. One is 11 by 11 and the second one is 9 by 7. That is the shape of our house. So first off, what I'm going to do is build myself a row of cobble all the way around this 11 by 11 square. This is going to form the basis of the first wall, and I think what we're going to have is the lower level entirely stone moving into a more woody and perhaps a concretey second level. Very, very medieval, bringing in some of those dark wood tones which I think will really accent off that white concrete which I'm planning to use. I'm also going to be doing something here as well, so we need to get this as cobble. We're going to variegate this in a little bit. The cows are in the way, just to make sure that we've got a little bit of pattern and texture into these walls. So I'm just going to crack on and get that done. I've just placed down a floor using some oak planks, and I'm probably going to put some stripped oak into that as well, and then I build up the wall 4 high and variegate that with cobble, stone and stone bricks. You may find that the wandering trader and his mates aren't in the next scene. Now what I really want is an entrance going in at the bottom level and also on an upper level as well. Now I'm not sure if the entrance will go in that size or that side, but what I do want to do is have the upper level going in there. So I'm going to come away from the corner slightly. I'm going to place 1, 2 and 3. That's not going to look right, so let's get those out as well. And I'm going to bring those up right to the top level of that wall. And then I'm going to get spruce planks, pop spruce planks there and there, and spruce stairs there and there. I guess I need to bring them down one at a time to there. That's perfect. Now I just need to get a light underneath there to stop anything from spawning and making horrible groaning noises. That's perfect. And then I'm going to bring this wood up to the level of the steps. So that's going to be 3. That's there, and that's there. That is great. I'm now going to bring these up one more level all the way around like that, and that gives us, you know what I might do, let's bring those up one more and give us a little bit more entranceway and surrounding when we come up those stairs. I like that a lot. Then I'm going to bring spruce planks all the way around. I'm going to miss 2 because that's the entrance, and I'm going to put spruce planks along the edge of the top wall. This is going to allow us to separate the bottom half from the top half. That's looking good. And then I'm going to use step pop outs on each of these corners just to give us the ability to support some structure. Medieval buildings often have the upper level at least as big, if not bigger, than the lower level. I like that very much. Now let's get this second half built. I really wanted these white walls to be a main part of this build, just to show that it is a truly medieval structure. However, I wanted it to be differentiated, so it is smaller on one side than it is on the other. So one side has got 4 high white and the other larger structure has got 8 high white walls. That's quite tall, so we're going to have to find a way to split that up a little bit, otherwise it will look unnatural. I also wanted to change it up a little bit with the lower roof, so I'm using polished blackstone brick. I've not really used that for a roof before, but I really love the effect. I wanted the gables for the larger section to pinch in quite quickly, so I've used 3 full flights of steps before I've brought it up 1 block at a time to make it quite a sharp point. I also used additional white concrete to end up those gables rather than change it up with a different block. It already looks really quite medieval. I decided to bring wooden beams going upwards from the bottom of the first level to the roof with a few pop outs. I then thought, let's give ourselves a bit of an overhang using some extinguished campfires, and that will give quite a nice entrance into that smaller section, so then I put in a front door. A house like this needs a really good chimney, and I decided to go for brick blocks with this just to offset the colour of the white and the orange of the bricks. I think it'd look much more grand. I ran some beams from inside the roof of the lower section across the larger section just to give it a little bit more character. However, it means that the chimney isn't quite in the middle, so I might need to do something about that. I also noticed that I needed to bring the outer stairs up 1 level in order for me to be able to get the floor in for that first level as well. I then put a chimney breast in the bottom half made out of stone rather than brick, just to give it a little bit more contrast so it would match up with the rest of the build. I had to change that chimney breast so it was central to those 2 beams. It just didn't work and it was making my teeth itch. So I expanded it, which means I've got to expand the outside as well. But it did give me the opportunity to make the external chimney shape a little bit more interesting. I started to build up the lower floor. First off, I made a separation using spruce trapdoors that gives a thin wall, but it's really effective when you use it with a spruce door, which I will in a moment. I then put in some tables up against the walls with some windows poking out from there to let in some natural light. A little bit of decoration with some lamps and some plants in pots, and we're good to go. Let's fill in the ceiling and do the main room. It was time to do the main room now, so I thought let's get a bank of furnaces in there with some smokers and some blast furnaces as well, so as we can then have the opposite wall with the stairs up to the first floor. We also wanted to bring in lots of storage and other workstations, make sure that the fire was lit in the hearth using a little bit of overhang so as the smoke doesn't sit there in visual range. We're going to put a table in the middle with a little bit of light and a seat on either side, and then we can cover over that floor. I then did realise I need to push the steps back just 1 block so she didn't fall down as soon as you walk through the door at the top. So the basic structure of the house is pretty much now done. We do have some big old white walls there, and we've still got to put a roof and decorate that first floor. However, we can see what we're working with now, so I think it's time to time-lapse up the rest. Cue the music. we are done with the outside. I'm really pleased with the way this came out. Change between the spruce and the blackstone roofs there works beautifully well, especially with the green accent of all the vines that I've got growing up the house. It's quite a grand medieval house. This isn't going to be lived in by a peasant. This is probably the lord of the manor, one of his second buildings or something like that. However, the lord of the manor has only got a downstairs. We need to put an upstairs in, so let's get that done right now. I finished the inside as well, so let's go and take a little look at it. As we come up the path to the stairs, we're going to go in this front entrance here, close the door. So we've got this nice area here. It's got a little bit of a workstation. This is possibly a staff's quarters because there's not a lot of space here. However, there's also not a lot of beds. They probably sleep somewhere else in another house. They do have a little area to be able to eat and do plenty of work. And upstairs, we've got a far more opulent area that's the inside of the house. We've got an eating table with a really nice view out of all of these windows, plenty of paintings, storage, all of the armour and the tools, a big double bed with a fancy headboard, a fire, some plants and some beams. I really like the way the inside looks. It's simple, but it's elegant. Now don't forget, this world is available to download should you wish to. If you just go to the link in the description below, you'll be able to download the world and you should appear where I log out, which will be around about here, and you can come and have a look around and maybe even make this place your home in your next world. It's a really nice seed, so do feel free to come and explore it. If you have enjoyed this video, please do remember to slap that like button. It'd be great to know you're enjoying them, and I will keep on making them. Also, if you've not done it already, please do hit that subscribe button. It'd be great to see you in my sub club, and I look forward to seeing you in another video. You take it easy now. Bye.